The speech festival was almost a disaster. Total chaos, an utter failure. It was on the edge. What brought it into success? The right people who could say no. People who could step in and say no right when they needed to. And this was the shocking thing that I had picked up from this leadership project, because I find that yeses are so much easier. When you have yes, 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 there's no discussion, there's just going. The no is where things stop. But through the process, I found that no can create things that are much better than yeses. So tonight, what I'm going to share with you are 3 no's that rescued the speech festival. For those of you who didn't attend or aren't familiar with the event, the speech festival was something I picked up from the Toastmasters district in Korea. Over there, they put together multiple speech contests, different languages, Japanese, Korean, Chinese, English. And they have a full day of contests, and they call it the Speech Festival. I wanted to bring it to Taipei, because I thought, this is an event that's worth my time. So I had this vision of a multilingual event, all speech contests, from 10 in the morning until 5 p.m. And I started to carry this vision and find a team of 20 people who were crazy enough to say yes to this idea. So no no's yet. But as the vision started to get tacked down to a plan, the no's started coming. The very first no was about the program itself. My co-chair, Vita, I picked her because I had heard that she is the toughest person to persuade. She will say no to anything. And I thought, if I can make this person say yes, I might have a good idea. And then she said no. I could not fathom how hard I didn't get it. It was going to take, how much work it was going to take to get her to say yes. But every time I got a no from her, it always started like this. You know, I don't think that's going to sell tickets. Why are Taiwanese people going to listen to Japanese speeches? Well, it's Toastmasters. No. And then we started to change. And so the speech festival went from a 4-language event to a 2-language event. We didn't even have Taiwanese. We just focused on Mandarin and English to get the maximum number of people to say yes. The second no, though, came from something interesting far down the pipeline. We are about 2 weeks from the event. And I have a logistics manager named Lachlan Logistics. Not for alliteration, but because he's very good at managing venues. His family runs a restaurant. Lachlan started to look at the budget, and he started to look at where the money went. And he said, Joe, your bentos, your biendang, are $240 per person. Don't you think that's kind of a waste of money? Wouldn't you rather put your money in the venue? Because the venue that we picked, every nice feature that I saw on YouTube actually costed extra, actually cost more money. And so as he started to look at this, and I said, no, we don't need to worry about the lighting. It's okay, we have fun speeches. He said, no, trust me. And so, working his restaurant magic, he found biendang, the lunch boxes, at another restaurant, much cheaper. Because initially our lunch boxes were coming from the venue itself, because I thought, yes, convenient, but no, costs too much. The third no came from a TGIF member, Judy Wang. Judy is a treasurer's treasurer. She knows budgets in and out. And so I had brought her in my team to keep us on track with the money. But as we got about 3 weeks from the event, we started to notice a problem. There weren't enough people signing up. And so we have an emergency meeting to try to figure out what to do. I said, oh, it's easy. We're just going to try to drive up membership more. Try to get more attendees out. And she said, no, Because the number of people we would have needed to join extra to get the budget right was 60 more people. We needed 60 more people to balance the budget. And she said, no, you're crazy. And so from that no, we got a new plan, sponsorships. And somehow we had 10 different groups sponsor tickets to the point where we didn't just break even, we made money. That's a powerful no. A yes man would have made me very poor. A no woman made me very rich. No. Anyway, but what I want to say is this. In the leadership process, what I learned was no's can be very powerful because they course correct. Yes, 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 yes can yes you straight into the hole. But a no can rescue it. Because those 3 no's led to something really special. It led to a magical day where our members could come together and do something different. Where Carolyn could lead games. Where Paul could hold a sock on stage. I'm not sure why you're holding a sock. Do you remember? Anyway. But where all of these people could have an amazing time. And they could grow and they could learn. It was Rebecca's first time in an in-person contest in Chinese. And she got 3rd place. Yay! Those no's led to an event that ran so smoothly and went so well. Yay. Over 150 people came out. And everyone had a good time. The only complaint was, why didn't we do this earlier? Why is this the first time we're doing it? Okay, one person said, I thought the seats could have been comfier. But that's a fair complaint. I get it. But the thing is, all of this stuff only happens when you have a leadership team that's willing to be honest with you and tell you when you have a bad idea. And all of these people, at some point in the process, all said no to me in various ways. Despite the fact that Rebecca says, just say yes to Joe. Because leadership is having a vision that is strong enough to withstand a no and be improved from every no along the way. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Joel.